Hi everyone, this is James Cruz, and I wanted to share a poem with you from my latest anthology, How to Love the World, Poems of Gratitude and Hope. And this poem is actually by my husband, Brad Peacock, and he was initially hesitant for me to include any of his poems in this book because he thought people would figure it was just favoritism or nepotism that I was giving him the upper hand, but I really stand behind these poems. And when I'm putting together a book like this, I always trust what comes across my desk. And this poem especially moved me, in part because there's a larger story behind it. So Brad is writing about walking in the rain and really appreciating the rain and the walk and just being in the moment. Really, after years of not having been able to be as present. So when Brad was about 18 years old, he signed up for the military, entered the Air Force. And once he went away from home, he began to realize that he was gay. And this came out eventually with a psychologist that was on the base where he was staying. And because the don't ask, don't tell policy was in place at that time, instantly he was discharged from the military and was sent home in shame. And, this life that he had planned that he was going to follow in the footsteps of his relatives, and especially his grandfather, was completely ripped away from him just because he said he was gay, because he finally figured it out. And so for years, Brad kept it a secret and didn't tell anyone. He stayed closeted, didn't share the real reason that he was discharged from the military. Eventually, he did share that, and it was actually at our wedding that he told everyone why he was initially discharged from the military. And through the telling of that, the sharing of the story when he ran for the U.S. Senate a few years ago, he's been able to heal the shame and the pain of his government telling him that he was not good enough to serve in the military alongside the people who had joined up with him. And I'm sharing this story in this poem, which, by the way, Brad gave me permission to do so. But I'm sharing this today because I've been reading, as so many of you have as well, about all of these laws being enacted across the United States by different states to limit the rights of trans and non-binary people, and especially trans children, limiting who can play in certain sports, who can use certain bathrooms. And I just want to say, and I may be speaking to the choir here, but I want to say that this legacy of shame has a real effect on people. It may seem small to some of us, the idea of who uses what bathroom or who can or can't play in a certain sport. But I think when your government tries to tell you that you basically don't exist or that you're not important enough to be cared about, this leaves so much shame and can lead to suicide. One of the things that Brad talks about is that suicide was a daily option for him when he returned from the military without any support. And so I worry about the young trans children who are being told that they don't exist, who are being erased. And so I want to share this poem to show, too, that through a loving community, through much healing work, one can move past the shame. But I would just ask us as a country and as a world not to put any more shame on our young people or the people who share the space with us every day. So this is Let It Rain by Brad Peacock. I'm not sure why I did my best to outrun you. Perhaps I had forgotten how your touch makes me feel alive, like the gentle hands of my husband reaching out to console me. I smile, feeling the first drops from the sky igniting my senses, calling forth the little boy inside who wants more, to feel it pour. This is not a shower that will extinguish the light I've found within. It is a rain that will soak me through down to bone, baptizing me again and again as I walk these gravel roads that have helped me heal. Droplets now fall from the brim of my hat, streaming down my cheeks like the time I cried out, begging for the shame to subside, wondering if I had the strength to live this life anymore. So I want to thank you all for listening today. I hope you stay safe and well.